above the moon and the stars, galaxies so far. Oh, where you are, I long to see your face. Can't believe you went away. Gone too soon, I say. But one day I'll see you in the sky. Just you and I. Just one last time. One last goodbye. Tears fall till they run dry. Tracing there you will find all the reasons why I cry,
For the team, took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free, free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity, I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I still live through technology. After the sun, then comes the rain. And after the storm, the sun will start shining. Blood tears of pain, and tears of pain, and tears of pain, and a dash of struggle. Just be patient. Your destiny will manifest. Yes, Bubzz in the city.
What is going on? What is going on, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. Excuse me, sorry. Y'all, please forgive me. I was not expecting to go live today, but I was inspired, I was moved, I was captivated by BreeStar, aka Fairy Puss, one of her most recent uploads to social media. Now, before I go into that, I want to say firstly, hey to everyone that is here. It's a different type of aesthetic tonight, but it's kind of fitting in with the theme again of the project that I am releasing. My interpretation, the dark interpretation of Blame It on the Dress, the manufacturing of black homophobia and performative masculinity, and just a lot of the conversations that have been going on for these past few months have just been eye-opening for me. Okay, shout out to Laverne Cox, shout out to all of the other trans women, Dominique, Hope Giselle, there's some other names that are escaping me, so please forgive me, but shout out to all of those individuals for the live that they did. And even though there were people saying that, you know, that should have been a conversation behind closed doors, I am glad that it was a public conversation because it opened up a can of worms and then some. I saw Fairy Puss a few times. I saw her on T.S. Madison's platform and throughout social media every once in a while, but this one video that she just put together and put up just really captivated me, and I ended up following her today. So Fairy Puss, if you happen to see this, which I hope you do, from one creator to another, thank you so much for taking the time out to use your gifts of being a narrator and an orator, a storyteller. When I was listening to it, I listened to it about 4 or 5 times, and I was closing my eyes and I was envisioning, because I am a visionary, envisioning what she was saying, putting it all in my my creative juices and stuff like that to kind of see what was going on. And it was just the way that she was speaking. I was like, damn, if she just had like some music or something underneath, you know, in the background as she was speaking, it would just be more potent, more powerful. It was powerful by itself in its raw original form, but for me, the way that I think, I'm like, oh, if it was just some music, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, let me go ahead and do it. And as I was doing it, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna repost it to my Instagram, tag her, tell her thank you so much for that. And my creative mind couldn't help itself, so I had to throw some music underneath it and kind of throw my own little Bubz essence on it, you know? So again, Fairy Puss, listen, I am not trying to steal your work. If anything, I just want to honor and compliment your work. Again, from one creator to another. But as I was doing that, I decided to do a little deep search into the whole Devon Robinson case, and I have like a little 5-minute spiel that I put together because, again, I'm trying to organize my thoughts for time efficiency and replay value, because this situation that has happened is not an isolated incident. It is not something that is an outlier experience or something that is just unique and rare. This is an unfortunate reality for a lot of our trans women of color, especially our black trans women, our black trans sisters. So, as a same gender loving man, I wanted to do my part to stand in the gap and to be my sister's keeper. Because even though I'm part of the Labiquita community, I don't know all of the Labiquita community. So I'm still learning. And that right there just touched my heart. So again, Fairy Puss, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that so fucking much. But tonight's live, what we're going to do is take a listen to Fairy Puss latest upload. And again, I put some of my BubzDaGawd, BubzZfloww-ish on it. It is what it is. I just love doing stuff like that, you know, just to show people how I interpret it, you know what I'm saying? And then I kind of have, like, again, my eyes consolidated into thoughts in the scripted form that I'm going to share with you all in hopes that we have more conversations about things that are going on in-house. You know, and again with the Laverne's Cox situation, they were holding her accountable for dating a white MAGA cop. But shout out to Dominique. She said, no shade, if we're going to be that objective, we also have to hold ourselves accountable when we fuck around with DL Trade. And again, influencing the live tonight, we're going to kind of delve into the trade a little bit, but more of the spiritual, symbolic aspect of it. And how we participate in the whole DL culture, the whole in the closet culture. And again, that is something that is also narrated the most importantly, by heterosexual community, the heterosexual, community. So again, I'm trying to do the best I can to make everything make sense. I will get things wrong. I will make mistakes, but charge it to my head, not my heart. I'm going to put my stuff out there, and whatever happens, happens. But I hope that the message is clear. And the message is to love yourself. Love yourself, most importantly, above all things. Because if you don't love yourself, you can end up in situations that can be deadly and that unfortunately have been deadly. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to shut the hell up and I'm going to let you listen to Muva Fairy Puss so eloquently, so eerily, but yet so beautifully narrate the whole experience with trade. And all I'm going to do is just give it some context and nuance in a spiritual way, in a emotional way that I'm pretty sure you're going to feel long after this live is over with. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get myself together as we listen to Muva Fairy Puss speak about the trade. Let's get it.
This is just a reminder for all the girls who live for the trade. Baby, it ain't nothing to pick the trade up from a gas station, honey, from a corner. It ain't nothing for that same trade to come home with you, follow you home, or beat you at your door. And it ain't nothing for that same trade to have you and your friends. And it ain't nothing for that same trade to come right back to the house in a ski mask and spray up the house with the Ruger, taking out you and your friends. Yup, that same trade who got a lesbian mother.
You got sisters and mama that's lesbian. You feel me? You got that got to. Exactly.
Just because I'm a woman that likes women, don't mean that you can be a boy who likes boys.
But you know everybody out here trying to act like you gay, right? That shit pissing me off.
In fact, that same lesbian mother helped him to flee in order to elude charges for taking those lives.
I told the police I was gay. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, my thing is, if you ever felt like that way or something, don't be never afraid to come to me with that shit. Don't keep that kind of shit from me. I'm not.
If a person takes lives out of fear of being outed to their parents, it's because it's been made clear to them that their parents are not a safe place to be out.
I don't tell nobody, no, not even my mom. I don't tell my pops, nobody. So nobody knows they're wrong.
What's ironic about a queer parent being mad at their queer child for being queer is that the child very likely inherited the queer gene from that parent. Attracting a trade is not a flex. This is somebody who's willing to have an interaction that they find disgusting with somebody who they're ashamed of being attracted to. I mean, that's literally the person you're sleeping with. And yes, we know it ain't a damn thing wrong with you or your queer body. The problem is sharing that body with somebody who doesn't feel the same. Why are you sharing your body with somebody who don't give a good goddamn about you in any way, shape, or form? We lose so many people in our community in the same exact way, and I guess they're going in vain because a lot of y'all haven't learned.
All right. Y'all heard the words from Mother Fairy Puss. And now, again, I kind of want to give some context and nuance to this. Okay? I want y'all to look on the screen. Okay? Because we're going to get into this a little bit. And again, I want you to do your own homework. Because at this point in time, we got to see who actually cares and who doesn't. So consider this your warning, okay? This is not opinion, all right? These are the receipts. And if you can't be bothered to check them, you've already told us you don't care anything about the truth. On the screen to your right is Devon Robinson, Detroit, Michigan, who is 22 years old today. Had sex with 2 gay men and 1 trans woman. Hours later, he put on a ski mask, grabbed a Ruger, and executed them. 3 dead, 1 injured, all shot at point blank range. I hope y'all sit with this, because again, this is real life. This is not a rumor. It's in the police reports, the trial records, the headlines you can still find today if you're willing to type Devon Robinson or Devon Robinson, into Google. Alante Davis, Paris Cameron, Timothy Blanchard. Here's where the hypocrisy gets biblical here. Devon's own mother, a lesbian. You'd think that means her son, who grew up in that home, would understand that queerness was safe. Obviously, we can see that that was wrong. The recorded calls between them are a masterclass in shame, denial, and self-hatred being passed down like a cursed heirloom. I mean, she even helped him flee the state after the murders. And to the people out there who are clutching their pearls, no, this isn't an anti-queer parent thing. This is about the poison you pass on when you never purged the poison from yourself. When talking to police, Devon admitted he was gay. But not even his mother nor his father knew. I mean, that's not a coincidence. That's what happens when home is a war zone for honesty. He had no problem having sex with queer people. His problem was living with the truth of it. And instead of facing it, he wiped out the witnesses. Now look, I understand some of you are already scrolling in your head thinking, well, I don't know if I believe all that. Well, good. See, you're supposed to check. That's why I'm telling you to. Because if you can't spend 5 minutes confirming this, your problem isn't ignorance at this fucking point. No, it's apathy. And apathy is how this keeps happening. Now you've got the map, okay? The rest of the journey you won't enjoy. You see, right now, we're going to walk the hall of the dead. And it has a lot to say to the living. And I'm going to tell you exactly how they got there. If you have ears, please hear me. If you don't, well, some of you will be names on this list sooner than you think. This is for the living and the dead. I am not here to entertain you. I am here to interrupt you. To put my hand through your chest, wrap it around the thing you refuse to name, and squeeze until it answers. You already know why you're here. Because somewhere between desire and denial, a scream went quiet. And you keep hearing it at night. Let me grab this mic so I can get real personal. We've already heard the names. Alante Davis, Paris Cameron, Timothy Blanchard. Not parables, not fucking headlines. People. People who breathed. People who laughed. People who kissed. And people who were punished for it with finality. See, some of you want a neat little lesson. I don't fucking have one. I have a knife, and I also have a mirror. At this point, you're gonna have to pick which one you can stomach first. Let me tell you something about the mask that kisses, okay? You know the trade, girl. You know how the trade do. You know how they give it up, girl. You know. Don't pretend like you don't. See, he is a neighborhood myth with a real address. See, he's the barber chair sermon, right? The locker room echo, the you know what it is, text after midnight. He's certainty in public and collapse in private. A handshake at noon and a hand over your mouth, okay? With his dick all up in you at 1 a.m. But not to silence your moan, baby. No. To silence his fear. You keep calling that attention that you get a blessing. No. It's not a fucking blessing. It's a bargain with a clock attached. And listen, I want you to understand, BubzDaGawd is being honest, bitch. Even though it's scripted, it's still me because I have it compiled for replay purposes. Listen, I know why you accepted. I know why. I've been there. I understand, girl. Because the bed is warmer than the truth. Because the chosen feels like proof. Because you were taught love is something you survive, not something you receive. But hear me, and please hear me well. When a man learns to hate the part of himself that wants you, he will always make a fucking ritual out of erasing you to prove he still belongs to his gods. See, some of you are sleeping beside a man whose God requires your disappearance. Let's talk about the house that refuses mirrors. I don't want to see myself. Let's talk about the home for a second, shall we? Despite us being queer, straight, black, white, whatever the case may be, we all come from a home. Whether it's broken, connected, one parent, two parent, grandma, foster, home. See, home is supposed to be the first church, the first courtroom, the first closet. There are houses where a lesbian can survive so long as her queerness is arranged in ways patriarchy approves. Masculine enough to be cool, invisible enough to be respectable, and useful enough to stabilize the myth. And in those same houses, a soft black boy, whether he's gay or straight, is conviction by fucking posture. A tilted wrist becomes a threat. A gentler voice becomes the fucking trial. And a tender heart becomes a crime scene. To the parents who think they're neutral because they never used the word hang it, understand that your silence signed the paperwork. See, you laughed at those people on TV. You praised hardness as safety. You pulled the boy's shoulders back and told him how to be seen, not how to be loved. Then you have the nerve and the unmitigated gall in this bitch to then be shocked that he grew a mask. You're shocked that the mask had a password, bitch. And you're shocked that the password, come on, Andrew. The password was you. Let's also talk about the mother's bargain. Let me speak with care to my queer sisters, especially the mothers. This isn't a trial against you, because other people gonna do that, not here on BubzDaGawd, no shade. It's a spotlight on the bargain patriarchy sold you. You may exist if your existence doesn't threaten our throne. So you learned how to live near the boys' club without burning it down. You held your breath. You lowered your register. You learned to laugh at jokes that sliced your own. And sometimes you built a life that kept you safe enough, but taught your son that softness is a sin punishable by exile. And I want you to understand, you didn't mean to. But the house understands what the house rewards. See, he read your survival tactics as rules, not warnings. And he learned to fear the love he is. To the mother on the phone saying, "Don't be scared to tell me." He already was. Because you already were. See, the body can smell fear. And so can a fucking child. Let's talk about the confession nobody heard. There does come a point where the masks start to talk back and shit. When the boy in the mirror says, "I'm here," and the man in the suit says, "You're dead." See, y'all gonna like this term. Some call it post-nut clarity, no shade. I call it the collision. When pleasure exposes the lie, and the lie reaches for a fucking weapon. So listen carefully, and listen closely. He didn't kill you because you seduced him. He didn't kill you because you tricked him. He killed you because you proved him. You proved the feeling was fucking real, and he couldn't survive that being true. So he ended up unaliving the proof. This is not a love story, okay? It's not a fucking love story. This is evidence disposal. The ghosts want to share a word to the living. Listen, I am not here to shame your hunger. Hunger is holy. I am here to rename your risk. Stop calling secrecy safety. Stop calling danger devotion. Stop mistaking adrenaline for intimacy. Here's a plain gospel for some of the night walkers late at night. No shade. If he needs you invisible, he is rehearsing your funeral. If his tenderness has a curfew, so does your life expectancy. And if he speaks of you as relief and not relationship, your name is already past tense in his mouth. Don't fucking die proving that you are lovable. Let me say that again for the bitches in the back, girl, even to myself, girl, for the past shit I did. Do not die proving you are lovable. You already are. Find the ones who can say that shit in the fucking daylight. Let's take a look at the fucking community, because we doing a 360 wraparound ass type of understanding in this mug, okay? To the community, I have a few questions I would love for you to answer. Where are the uncles who laughed at the sweet boys but cry at the closed caskets? Where are the pastors who preach deliverance but can't deliver a single safe home in this bitch? Where are the barbers and the big back niggas who go to the shops, girl, who set the rules of manhood with clippers like commandments and then pretend not to hear the eulogies 2 chairs down? Where are the cousins who DM at 1:43 a.m. in this bitch, but do not agree with the lifestyle at 1:44 p.m.? You want miracles in this bitch? You want some life-changing experience to happen in this whole community? Well, guess what? Y'all gonna have to start by shutting down the jokes that build the coffins. Start by loving the boys who don't know how to stand like your God, and start by admitting that you don't have a God, you have a fucking mascot. Okay? Let's take a look at a practical liturgy of survival. I won't just leave y'all asses with poetry alone in this bitch, thus, thou, if this. No, here's some practice. 1, name it early. If he can't say what this is, you already have your fucking answer. Secondly, public proof. If he can't text you at noon, he doesn't deserve your midnight. Thirdly, safety ritual. Share locations with a friend and tell someone a name every time. Fourthly, no isolation. The first time, let's find a neutral space. Second time, your rules. If he resents the rules, he resents your ass. Okay? Fifthly, exit rehearsed. Have the line you'll send to get help. Practice that shit. We are not improvising with our lives in this mug, especially in this social climate, bitch. And lastly, honor your... I'm sorry, one more. We got one more, girl. Sixthly, honor your no. Desire is not debt. If your spirit says, not tonight, go home alive, girl. And lastly, seventhly, seventh heaven, community check-ins. Create a group that treats you home like a sacred liturgy. Survival is not paranoia. And this a read for me, bitch. Survival is not paranoia. It's a prophecy fulfilled. Let's take some time for the dead we name. Alante Davis, Paris Cameron, Timothy Blanchard. You deserved decades. You deserved boring mornings and messy kitchens and the silly fights that end in laughter. You deserved to be complicated, to change your mind, to outgrow this fucking sermon. You were not symbols. You were fucking people. And we speak to you like we are late to your party and swore we wouldn't miss another one. May y'all please rest in power and rest where shame cannot follow. We will do the living that was stolen. And we will starve the gods that demanded you as a fucking sacrifice. Now for the dead that we don't know. For the ones we don't have names for. For the ones misgendered in the article and buried wrong. For the ones erased by family statements that never spoke who you were. For the ones taken by a hand that swore that it felt like home. We will not sanitize your ending. We will not tidy your truth to protect the ones who failed you. We will not call it tragedy without calling it what the fuck it is, a pattern. Now let's talk about the curse and the cure in this bitch. To every house that teaches boys to break themselves for entry, your walls remember the screams you pretend not to hear. Your air is heavy with ghosts. Let them out or fucking choke. To every man who uses queer bodies as alibis for a masculinity your ass don't even believe in, may your lies, excuse me, may your lies find you before your bullets find anyone else. May your mask rot from the inside until truth is the only skin that fits. And lastly, to every mother and father who are brave enough to love the child you actually have, I want you to understand that you are doing something very powerful. See, you are interrupting a funeral we are tired of attending. You are building a future where desire doesn't require a eulogy. We see you. BubzDaGawd definitely sees you. And continue to do what you're doing to keep them alive. This is the last warning in this motherfucker. Some of you are listening with your chest puffed out and shit like this is beneath you. Some of you are listening with your head bowed because you know exactly who I'm talking to. And some of you are listening to this at 2 a.m. replaying a voice note from a man who can't say your name out loud. I am not here to embarrass you. I am simply here to keep you breathing. If he needs you hidden, he plans your vanishing. If you are a rumor to his friends, you are a risk to yourself. If the only time he sees you, girl, is when his shame is loud, your death will be the silence he prefers. Choose you. Choose living. And choose tomorrow. And I close with the amen that ain't so fucking sweet. This is my warning to the ones with ears. And unfortunately, this is my eulogy to the ones who didn't. Do not prove your worth in a room that requires your fucking ghost. Do not let a man audition his hatred on your body. Do not mistake hunger for love. If you are still here, you still have time. Tell the truth louder than the fear that taught you to whisper. Make it home. Make it tomorrow. Make it out. Some of you are already ghosts. The mercy is you're still breathing. Now it's up to you to decide what the fuck you're gonna do with that miracle.
I can be anything I choose in this round. We are a sound vibration too deep to tell.